Hello everybody. Let's install Python, Visual Studio Code, and write our first little program. Hello World, the traditional program that everybody writes when they're starting out a new programming language. So let's go to python.org/downloads. Python.org/downloads on Windows. Whoops. You would download whatever the latest version is. This video shows 3.13.7. Well, it might be 8, it might be 10, it might be 14 by the time you get here. Go ahead and download the latest version. And there it goes. When something is downloaded, it ends up in the downloads folder, almost always. There it is. You would double click on it. We are going to customize our installation, use admin privileges, add Python to path, customize installation. Leave all these set. Add precompile standard library. We're going to install for all users. And then we click install. What would happen if you didn't install it this way? Nothing. It would still work fine. This is how I've always installed it. It installs it once for anybody who logs on to the computer. And precompiling the standard library allows Python to run a little bit more quickly. Time to download Visual Studio Code. That's the program that we use for all the programming classes. It will handle any language. It's open source, it's free. You may use other integrated development environments, but everything I do in class and in my recordings will use Visual Studio Code. So we are going to download for Windows. I'm going to go to other platforms so that I can download the system installer. You could also download the user installer, that's fine. As an IT person, I tend to do things the administrative central one installation way. And there it is. At the beginning of your coding programming journey and learning about computer science, we do work with AI in this class, but don't use AI to accomplish your assignments. Try to figure things out as much as you can. Work with the tutors. Ask me. It's better to figure things out on your own at the beginning. Later on, AI can be used as a code helper. Anyway, we're going to next our way through. There's really nothing to change until we get to this. Visual Studio Code works the best if we put Open with Code in the Windows Explorer context menu, because we want to open folders, not just a single file. And then we click Next and Install. This will take a few moments and then it'll be done. There we are. Visual Studio Code is open and we have it installed. We're not going to launch Visual Studio Code to start with. We're going to work a little bit on organization of files. If you store every file, I'm just going to delete these guys from my downloads folder. You don't want to store every file in one folder. So for an example, I'm going to go to my Documents folder. I'm going to right-click in this empty space. You could also do this on your USB drive. I'm going to create a folder for my Python files. Then I'm going to divide those up. Since my class is in a weekly section, I'm going to have a week 1. And then, of course, I'd have a week 2. And on down the line. Now with Visual Studio Code in Windows 11, if you right-click on the folder, go down to Show More Options, we have Open with Code. Code works better if you open the folder. It's kind of like creating a little coding project. Do you trust yourself? Yes, we do. Trust the authors. That's a security thing. We're not going to do any of this, set up Copilot or any of that. That's beyond the scope of what I'll be doing today. We are going to create a new file because the first thing we want to do is, The first thing we want to do is add our Python extensions. I wasn't paying attention to my directions. So the extensions are over here. Visual Studio Code comes empty, you might think of it. And you add on extensions to work with particular languages. So we're going to add Python extensions. If we go over here, that's this little brick guy, and we type in, oh, actually it's right on the top, isn't it? Look at there. Python. If this doesn't show up, type in Python. We want the one from Microsoft. And you can see a lot of people like it, 179 million. That's a bunch. And that's really the only one we need. There are all kinds of others you could experiment with and try, but for what we're doing, this one will do everything we need. The extension is installed. We're going to go up here to Explorer. Do we want to allow? Yeah, sure, we can allow. We're not going to do anything over the network, but you're doing things on your own computer, so it's not like it's a security risk. We're back in our week 1 folder. I'm going to right-click and create a new file. I'm going to call it HELLO, and I'm going to type an underscore world.py. The naming convention in Python is lowercase letters and an underscore separating the words. .py is the extension for a Python file. All right, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm not going to generate code. I'm going to write my own stuff. This is not a complicated program. So the pound sign allows us to put in comments. So I'm going to print hello world to the console. Well, we don't have a console yet. We just have a big black screen. Well, we haven't run the program either. Python is one of the languages that's as close to typing in human readable text to tell the program what to do as I have seen. So we're going to type in hello Python world, and you can type in your name. You can type in anything you want. Okay. So this is the print command. This tells Python to print this to the standard output, which in this case is our console, which will show up in a second. The parentheses mean that the print command will work on anything in between the parentheses. The double quotes tell Python that this is a piece of text, or in programming language, it's called a literal string. Literally meaning it's literally text. String is the term that we use in programming. So you can press Control S to save. Forgot to save. It has a little round circle up here if you don't save it. You can go to File and Save, but Control S is one of the shortcut keys you will want to learn. If you press the F5 key on your keyboard, it'll come up with the Python debugger. You can click this little guy over here to just run the Python file. And what it'll do is open up your terminal down here, and there's our program run. Hello, Python world. Well, if this works successfully, your development environment is set up and you're ready to move on to the next assignments. Congratulations. Welcome to the programming world.